everybody, my name is Taylor Strength and today I'll be talking about how to care for indoor plants. By no means am I an expert. I know from what I've learned personally and what I've researched, but I would like to put my education on indoor plants to good use, so enjoy the video. And if you have any further questions, please just feel free to DM me on Instagram. I'll leave my Instagram handle below, or you can just comment on this video. I'm not trying to become a future YouTuber. I don't want a following. I care less for likes and subscribes, whatever. This is just to put education of plants out there, and you know, if wherever the wind takes me, I can make future videos on this, but I do not plan on continuing the YouTube career. So without further ado, let's get into how to care for indoor plants. So what I want to first talk about today is finding the right plant for you, because everyone's different. Everyone has different kind of capabilities of taking care of plants, or their houses or apartments don't face the sun the right way. It just varies on wherever you may live or your personal preference. But how I discovered what kind of plants I like is through the first two plants I ever got at IKEA a while back. So the first two plants I ever bought were these two little dudes. I named them Frankie, it's a little cactus, and this succulent. This one's Ellie. She looks a little funky, but she's really old actually. I bought them and I just discovered that I really liked taking care of succulents because they don't require a whole lot of watering, which I will get into later in this video. But last year, I don't remember what time, I think it was like in September, I went to the store and I was looking at plants at Walmart or my local garden store in Abilene, and I found a houseplant. And at first I was like, okay, this requires a lot more watering and different kind, like more light than succulents do. And I was like, I don't really want to get this. But I decided to test the waters and I bought a houseplant, and I found out that I really like houseplants more. It just depends on how often you can water them. If you're busy, if you're forgetful, if you remember things easier. I personally tend to forget, but considering I am a control freak and I love nature and I love taking care of God's creations, I remember taking care of my plants a lot better than I took care of my succulents, surprisingly. So I have a lot more plants that I'm about to show you, but there's just so many I can't show them all, and right now they're all on the floor and it's a lot to get into. But so you've already seen my two first ones, my first succulents. I have 6 more succulents on my windowsill, but everyone knows how to care for succulents. They just require sunlight and then watering every 2 weeks. But if you want to know more about succulents, I can link some articles down below. But this video is mainly about indoor houseplants. So I have a lot more, as I mentioned earlier, than I'm about to talk about. But here are a few of my favorites. This one is called a nerve plant. This little dude, she is so temperamental. So nerve plants actually have nerves, if you can see, like nerve-like things on their leaves. And actually, they don't require a lot of sunlight. I kept her in my dorm room in like the darkest corner for like a whole year, and she survived well. She thrived. She's gotten a lot bigger when I first got her, or since I first got her. Whenever nerve plants need watering, they'll just like sag. I'm not even kidding. The first month she needed watering, when I hadn't watered her, she was like lying flat and just like, and I thought she was dead and I freaked out, but then I gave her some water and she perked back up within an hour. So nerve plants are drama queens, but they're definitely worth it, and the nerves on their leaves look really cool. One of my top favorites as well is this prayer plant. Prayer plants actually can move. It feels like bones, but they actually move. So whenever it's light outside, they kind of spread out, as you can see right now. When it gets darker outside, they kind of collectively move in more together, and it's really cool. I can link a prayer plant time lapse down below. It's really cool to watch progressively throughout the day, because in the morning they're just like and then at night they're like, I don't know why I keep doing sound effects. Here is one of my favorites. This is a golden pothos. I just propagated this guy. They grow rapidly. When I first got this golden pothos for like $4 at Garden World in Abilene, it was about this size. Then, over the course of 1 month, it was already hanging off the refrigerator in my dorm room. Super long. I had to trim it and I had to repot it because it was getting so big and just so long. So if you want some ivy in your house or kitchen or room to spice things up, I recommend getting a golden pothos. Very easy to take care of. You just put it in an area with some light. I usually put it on my bookshelf or in a far corner of my room where it doesn't get a whole bunch of light, and it thrives, honestly. And another form of pothos is the silver pothos. This guy I just repotted yesterday. It's another form of ivy, and ivy grows rapidly as well. This one hasn't grown as fast as my golden pothos, but still the leaves just look funky and they feel kind of soft, if that makes any sense. It's just an interesting feel of the leaves. It requires not a lot of sunlight either. I put it on my desk in my dorm room, and now it's on my bookshelf or my bookcase, and it does really well. I just got this guy a few days ago. I keep saying guy, some are girls, whatever. This is a form of begonia. It's a begonia. I don't know what kind of begonia it is, but it's a begonia. And it looks like the leaves with lily pads, but they're really cool, and they require a lot more sunlight. They can go on a shaded patio, or they can go on a sunny windowsill. This dude is already getting so big. Just look at all those roots. I need to repot it since I just got it, but it's really cool. Kind of reminds me of a Dr. Seuss plant. I don't know, but I recommend getting begonias. They're really beautiful plants. Another temperamental plant, like my nerve plant, would be a coffee plant. So it's a little funky right now because of summer, but a coffee plant, it looks kind of like a fiddle leaf fig, and I'll try and insert a picture so you know what it looks like. But you just put it on a windowsill where it gets the sun, and ever so often you water it like every other day. And if you don't water it every other day, on the third day it'll like flatten up and look dead. It's a drama queen, honestly, but I like it. It's really adorable. It's like a little mini tree. A few of my other favorites would be this ZZ plant. It actually was really small when I first got it. I got it back in February, and it's gotten so big. It just grew these three new stems recently. It's getting a few more in here. I don't know if you can see them or not, but a ZZ plant is a great plant to have in the corner of your house or in the kitchen or your dining room if you don't get a lot of light. It doesn't require a bunch of light, actually. It requires some, obviously, but it's just a nice plant to kind of have as a decoration in your house somewhere. Also, on that note of not requiring a bunch of light is my snake plant. When I first got her, she was like this big, and she's pretty heavy now. She's sprouting 2 new stems right there, so I'm really excited for that. But a snake plant doesn't require a lot of water. You can water it every day or once a month, and it will thrive. You can have it in a shaded patio on a sunny windowsill or the darkest corner of your house, and it will still grow. It'll grow faster if it gets a lot more sun, but it's not necessary, not required. So I think that's pretty freaking cool. So those are my houseplants. Now I'm gonna get into caring for them. If I ramble, I apologize. I don't know what to talk about and don't know how to act, but just bear with me. I'm gonna go over the basics of caring for them. So I had this whole video recorded, but then I realized it wasn't in focus. I have to redo it. But in regards to watering, I usually get a watering pail from your local Walmart, Home Depot, Callaway's, wherever you get plants at, or gardening tools. You can get it for really cheap. And also you will need to mist your plants every day or every other day just to keep it humid and keep the leaves moist. And you can get one of the spritzer from Dollar Tree, Walmart, Target, as I mentioned earlier. Same thing, and they have nicer ones if you want to be bougie like that. Personally, I'm cheap. because I have to do adult things, but that's what I suggest. You just need to water it according to what your plant needs. If it needs every day because it's in direct sunlight, water it more. If it doesn't, water it every other day, every third day. And if it's succulent, I would suggest doing it once every 2 weeks, just depending how moist the soil is. A good way to check how moist the soil is to just stick your finger about an inch into the soil. And if it's still wet, you don't need to water it. I would check again the next day. And if it's not wet, if it's pretty dry, then I suggest watering it immediately. Also, make sure you watch out for your plant to not overwater so it doesn't develop root rot or just get overwatered and die, because it's real, it's a thing, and plants can drown. So make sure you look out for that. And I like to keep a strict schedule when I water them, so I know when I last did it and when I need to do it. So it keeps them kind of on a schedule, if that makes any sense, because plants are alive. They're not just things. They very much have feelings, as I like to put it. But just keep an eye for that. Make a schedule, get a planner, or have a reminder in your phone when you need to do it, because that's what I do, and it seems really nerdy, but it will help you. If you have a plant that's dying and you want to save it, a good way to save it is propagation. What you do is, especially on a golden pothos, is cut some of the ivy off and you stick it into a water vase as such, and it'll grow a lot faster. And once it gets more roots and grows longer, put it in a pot with some soil, and then voila, you have a whole new plant. It's cheaper and you can definitely save plants that are on the road to dying. That's what I did one time with one of my succulents. Propagation with succulents is a whole different ballgame, but I can get into that on a different video. One thing you definitely need for your plants is soil. Plants require being repotted every 6 to 9 months, sometimes even less than that, to keep the roots growing and keep the plant fresh and vibrant. So for houseplants, as mentioned before, they need soil that's just for them, and succulents need cactus soil, which helps them. One like this, it's not a form of cactus, it's a succulent, and cacti are succulents, so they need certain soil for that. And to help them grow even better, I use plant food, which I give one pump every 2 weeks. So here's for my houseplants, and this one is for my succulents. Plant food helps them grow better and look more alive and just green and vibrant, which I personally like. My ivy looks bomb when I give it to them. So look for that at your local Home Depot, gardening store, wherever you may have. And it's definitely a good investment. I suggest it highly. Take care of your plants, people, please. Keep Mother Nature green. Before I wrap this video up, one thing that I really enjoy about plants is that it's a way for me as a control freak to have some control over something. Even as minuscule as plants, it really helped me with my anxiety and just helped me calm down in a sense. And fun fact, houseplants actually can purify the air and cleanse your room of certain bacteria and allergens, which is really cool. English ivy is really good at that, as well as snake plants. It really helped me find peace and just calm me down. It gave me a responsibility of taking care of something, because I struggle with being alone, and I always had an animal to take care of me or to kind of calm me down, and plants were another form of that. So if you also struggle with anxiety and just other forms of stress like me, I suggest getting a plant or beginning a plant addiction. It will lead to an addiction, trust me. It's been years since I've been addicted to plants. It's really helpful, and I really hope you guys have enjoyed this helpful video. I'm sorry I'm really awkward. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment below or just DM me on Instagram. Once again, I'll put my handle down below. I will definitely try to put more videos out there or even start a blog post about this. I really like educating you guys on how to care for plants because they're really cool, and I'm so thankful God made so many different forms of them. But yeah, so thanks for watching.